toxic chemicals on a Chanute Air Force Base here in central Illinois.
Yeah, WAND investigative reporter Doug Wolfe takes a deep dive into how so-called forever chemicals were caused by firefighting training at the base, which closed 32 years ago.
Chanute Air Force Base in Rantoul, at one time a training facility for military firefighters. Kevin Ferrara arrived at Chanute in 1991.
So yeah, I landed in the middle of a cornfield. Scared the heck out of me.
Closed in 1993, Chanute is still a source for toxic man-made forever chemicals known as PFAS. Chanute was a base used for training Air Force firefighters.
Chanute was your primary training base, your tech school. That's where you were baptized in fire, as many people say.
They used a firefighting foam known as AFFF.
We were told firefighting foam, it's perfectly safe. It's just, it's soap and water. And we took it at that. It's like, oh, soap and water, that's fine. We use this stuff every day.
Foam which has since been determined to be toxic. Chanute has been closed 32 years, but the impact of using firefighting foam will last for decades. PFAS from firefighting foam get into the ground and drinking water. The CDC says they are connected to cancer and other health effects, which are leaving veterans sick or dying.
Kidney cancer, testicular cancer, colon cancer, bladder cancer. We're starting to see some rare forms of brain cancer.
The Air Force is currently in a multi-year process of investigating where PFAS are located at Chanute and how much is there. A second Illinois location, Scott Air Force Base in downstate Belleville, has also used AFFF for training firefighters, and PFAS are a problem at that base with similar dangers.
PFAS is a forever chemical. It is, if you've been exposed to it, it is very dangerous and something that we want to eliminate.
Congresswoman Nikki Budzinski represents Decatur, Champaign, Springfield, and areas near Scott.
This is not actually, sadly, an uncommon story. There are other military bases similar to Scott that have similar concerns.
Dr. Craig Bash is a veterans medical advisor who has also testified before the Board of Veterans Appeals to help veterans receive VA benefits.
But the truth of the matter is every base has toxic water.
Dr. Bash previously testified on behalf of a Chanute veteran who had several medical issues, including cancer.
That case was toxic water. The water can cause all kinds of cancers.
Dr. Bash tells WAND News firefighting foam used for training will often get into the drainage system on military bases, goes into the water table, eventually up to a water tower, and ends up in the drinking water. Everything from firefighting foam, jet fuel, solvents, and degreasers end up going down drains.
What happens at the bases, all the bases have little drain holes, right? Little drain holes. And the water from the airplanes, the tanks all goes down these little drain holes. And it goes down directly into the water table. You can prove they had exposure because they have to drink water when they're there. There's no way to get around it.
So we would just simply wash it down the stormwater drains, the stall drains, and it would go into the stormwater and then where it went from there, into the sanitary sewer systems.
Some of the highest levels of PFAS ever detected in the U.S. have been found at military installations.
Jared Hayes is a senior policy analyst at the Environmental Working Group, which specializes in research and advocacy in the areas of toxic chemicals and drinking water pollutants.
Decades of use built up into the soil and the groundwater at that site.
At Scott Air Force Base, Jared says two different types of PFAS are at extremely high levels.
Those two at over 100,000 parts per trillion. And to put that into some context, the EPA has said that the safe level for those two types of PFAS is just 4 parts per trillion.
And the cost to clean up PFAS at Chanute?
The cost to complete, as of the last time we calculated it last year, is going to be $37 million.
And the cost to taxpayers at Scott?
Looking at $46 million and growing in cost.
There's another problem with forever chemicals. They don't always stay in one place. In fact, they can migrate into other areas.
So that chain link fence that separates Chanute from the civilian side, that's not a very good barrier.
We've taken 496 groundwater samples from the shallow aquifer. We've taken 755 soil samples.
Paul Carroll is with the Air Force, which is investigating several locations at the former base to see exactly where PFAS contamination is located.
Once we get those sites investigated, we'll determine whether there is a human health risk or ecological risk at each one of those sites.
A remedial investigation report is scheduled to be completed in the fall of 2026. Actual cleanup of the contaminated locations will begin sometime later once the appropriate steps needed are determined.
It's just going to be a long, lengthy process to remediate it once we get things started.
In recent years, the military phased out the use of AFFF firefighting foam, although Kevin points to records showing it was known for years to be toxic.
There's documentation, unclassified documents and reports that show the DoD and various branches of the military knew this stuff was hazardous but never told us.
We found reports by the Air Force and Navy as far back as the 1970s, which showed concerns as to how the foam was impacting the environment and its toxicity on fish, while many veterans have to fight the VA for health care benefits.
The truth was, no, if they paid for all the medical stuff like they're supposed to, then the VA budget would have to be 3 times larger for the admin side.
Toxic exposure in the line of duty.
So it stays in the environment forever, it stays in your blood forever, and it's scary. It's scary stuff what this stuff does.
Doug Wolfe reporting.
It's man-made, it's not natural, it should not be in our blood.
For WAND Investigates.
The federal government has previously listed the Air National Guard facility in Springfield as having some levels of forever chemicals at its facility.
You can see this entire report at our website, WANDTV.com.